In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His messenger, the members of His family household, and His faithful companions. Dear sisters and brothers, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His messenger, the members of His family household, and His faithful companions, and all those who walk on His footsteps. So for this last episode of this program, we are going to close this program and end this episode with a very deep explanation of all what has been said and resume what we have said previously regarding the obligations of the pilgrimage and the pillars of pilgrimage. So now people are in Mecca and they are waiting to go to Mina. Is the pilgrim conscious of what he's doing? Yes, actually, a major part of pilgrims are here to accomplish and perform one of the greatest pillars of Islam, which is pilgrimage. After the pilgrim goes back to his country, is he going to bury his past and start a new life after gaining all this piety, all this serenity, and will establish peace between him and the people? Is he going to continue being pride? Is he going to continue being very selfish? So these are the questions we are going to try and answer and see what is the ideal behavior of a pilgrim when he leaves the sacred places, and how he should behave, how he has been cured with the precepts of Islam in this sacred place. He's going back home after gaining and obtaining many rewards, and we were asking the pilgrims to preserve these things, doing invocations and evocations that are going to be with him until the end. So that's why we are going to see quickly with our brother Yusuf Hassan Diallo to talk about all this ideal, all the aspects of the ideal behavior of a pilgrim. And we thank him because he has explained to the pilgrims and transmitted the message regarding the stages of pilgrimage and all the obligations that have been explained by Sheikh Yusuf. Sheikh Yusuf, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Thank you for everything you have done for the Iqraa channel and our sisters and brothers. Can you make a brief us about everything that has been said previously for all those who didn't watch us, and do a quick summary? May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon our Prophet, his family, household, and his faithful companions. Glory to Allah Almighty, and may He ease our hardship and our sadness. Peace be upon you all, dear sisters and brothers, all of you who are watching us and who are performing pilgrimage. So I salute you with the salutation of Islam, wishing then the peace and the mercy of Allah be upon you. Actually, starting from today and throughout 6 days, we are going to enter the actual rituals of pilgrimage, and we have talked previously about pilgrimage, that the pillars of pilgrimage that are 4, and then we've talked about the obligations, and like you said in the introduction, we need to understand that performing the 5th pillar of pilgrimage is going to do something, and to inject piety in our hearts, and to testify what the prophets before our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, did when they came to this place and throughout the history of Islam. So we have also, it's very important to focus on this 5th pillar of Islam that comes to stress on the fact that every one of us who has the physical capacity, every believer who has the physical and material capacity, needs to perform the pilgrimage. So the 5 pillars of Islam, we all know them. There is the first one that is testifying that there is no other divinity but Allah, and that the Prophet is his messenger, and to perform the obligatory prayer, to fast during the holy month of Ramadan, and then to pay the legal zakat, the zakat which is the legal alms given to the poor, and then to perform the pilgrimage. So our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the Muslim is the person who keeps his tongue in chastity, and the Muslim is going to give peace to people around him, because from Islam we derive the term peace also, which is security that a Muslim should provide to people around him. So when he performs all these stages of the precepts of Islam, or the pillars of Islam, he's going to become someone that is propagating all this peace. So the 5th pillar of Islam, which is the pilgrimage, is going to allow the Muslim and the believer to allow this believer to become as if he was born again, and to expiate all his sins. And Allah is going to bestow his mercy. Allah, glory to him, is going to bestow his mercy on his slave performing the pilgrimage. So we have been asked to perform the pilgrimage at least once in our life, in order to complete our commitment, whether men or women, has taken in order to get closer to Allah, glory to him. Because it's very important to say that Islam has taken all these dispositions in order to allow the believers to go and to approach Allah, glory to him. Every kind of acts of worship that we do will contribute in transforming the human being, to get him away from the devil and to get him closer to Allah, glory to him. That's why the noble Quran has stressed on this fact, that when the believer comes to perform the pilgrimage, he needs to preserve himself with all kind of provisions, and the best among these provisions is the fear of Allah. Glory to Him. So we need to fear Allah when we come and perform the pilgrimage. Although people who know and who has a good sense, common sense, the intelligent people, the people who reflect, are going to choose the fear of Allah. Because we need to fear Allah, glory to Him. We cannot run away from Allah, glory to Him, and we need to fear Him to get closer to Him and to seek His acceptance and His agreement. Dear brother Yusuf Diallo, when you talk about fearing Allah, it's an amazing thing, because a human being who doesn't work on daily on getting closer to Allah, it's like a dust taken away from the wind, by the wind. So and this human being is going to get lost in this life. We need to read and recite the Quran daily, to walk on the footsteps of our beloved Prophet in order to get closer to our Creator. And the taqwa, which is the piety, fearing Allah, glory to Him, is something that we all seek, and we need to preserve it, to maintain it, because there is no scale of evaluation in piety, but the Sunnah, the recommended Sunnah, tells us that the faith and the piety is developing and enhancing and becoming even greater, but does not have to go down. Never has to go down. Yes, here the pilgrim come to resource himself via this faith that he has inside him, and when being in the sacred house, doing circumambulation, he's going to remind himself that he is in a sacred place. Why does Islam insist on the necessity to enhance this tendency of a human being to get closer to the Creator? Why? Because for Islam, the human being is made by two parts. One half that is physical and ephemeral, and another spiritual part, which is eternal. And Allah, glory to Him, tells us this in the Noble Quran, when He says, glory to Him, I will create a human being from mud, and when I will whisper in him, he will become in the form of this human being, and it will be he will have a spiritual part. So I gave this human being the form, a physical form, and then I whispered into him. So this is what a human being is: two parts, a physical part and a doomed part, and an eternal part that is constantly reminding and remembering Allah, glory to Him, and evoking Him. So for Islam, the Muslim needs to give advantage to anything that is eternal, anything that will remain. And our noble Quran tells us in many ways, the last day is the best. The last is the best. So we don't have to run after everything that is temporarily. We need to preserve all what is going to remain eternal. And that's why the pilgrimage is going to allow us to enhance this spiritual part in us. Thank you, and we are going to take a short break. And it's an excellent remark that you have made, is that the spiritual is what will remain. So, dear viewers, stay with us after the short break. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, dear viewers. We are with our brother Sheikh Youssef Hassan Diallo, who is continuing to give us more information and instructions concerning the pilgrimage. Since we have started talking about the fear of Allah, glory to Him, we're going to talk about faith. The faith. The Muslim needs to be concerned in order to approach Allah, glory to Him, by the prayers, by fasting, by doing evocations and invocations, and by visiting, by keeping the family ties also, because it's very recommended to keep them, the right of our neighbors, the right of our the family members, respecting others. How do we respect others, and how does this make us get closer to Allah, glory to Him, in order for Him, Almighty, in order for Him to be satisfied with our acts? Yes, the pilgrimage is going to allow men or women, pilgrims, who decided to come here in the sacred earth, peace place, to transform themselves. This metamorphosis is going to give him an orientation in his future life. And to the extent that our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the Muslim man or woman who is performing pilgrimage, when this pilgrimage is accomplished, once back home, this pilgrim shouldn't have the same behavior as when he came, he first came. Because when you come performing pilgrimage, you are supposed to have cleansed all the sins before coming. And when you are here also, you are expiating all your sins. So when you go back there, you need to preserve this this accomplishment, even though we are humans and we could we can commit mistakes, but we need to avoid falling in sins as much as we can. And it's very important. We have talked yesterday about the Ifada, the farewell circumambulation, which is the circumambulation performed around the Kaaba when we leave the Mount of Arafah. And this farewell circumambulation is a pillar. It's considered as a pillar in pilgrimage. So you have asked me, why do we call it Ifada? Why do we call it farewell circumambulation? We talked about this when we talked about the Mount of Arafat and the station of Arafat during pilgrimage. And the Ifada in French means people coming in masses after spending the night on the Mount of Arafah. So it is recommended for them to stay there until the sun set. And there are some there are some signs that that show that these signs are being made in order for people to come to descend the Mount of Arafah, and until they go to Mina and then Mecca. This is the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. So the Ifada means actually the crowds coming, the masses of people coming from Arafah, from the Mount of Arafah to Mina, and we need to imitate and copy this ritual on our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. And then and then the pilgrims do the stoning of the stages. So we have 3 stages that represent the devil, that have been showed by the Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, and then his son Ismail. And then we arrive to Kaaba, and then we do the farewell circumambulation. You have mentioned the symbolic aspect of Islam, and we need you to explain to our dear viewers that the stage of Aqaba has a symbol, and the other stages also have symbols. That anything that the pilgrim performs has been done by our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. He's the master of the Islamic nation, and we need not to avoid these pillars. So when we do the farewell circumambulation, does the believer need to invoke Allah, glory to him, and what kind of priority does he have to give to this invocation? I don't think that the farewell circumambulation has a special evocation, but there are some zones where our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, has recommended people to do evocations. It's when it's between the cube of the Kaaba and the angle of Yemen, and then the angle of the black stone, and then you have the other 2 angles that are in Hijr Ismail. So between the angle of Yemen and the angle of the black stone, it's recommended to say and to recite, "Oh Allah, give us a reward in this life and in the hereafter." And it's very significant to read this invocation, and it's within the pilgrimage that, and it's according to, it's because of the pilgrimage that this verse descended. Some people are going to do invocation just to ask for things for this life, and they will never think of asking rewards for the hereafter. But among people who come here, there are those who ask for something for this life and for the hereafter. This is the ultimate definition of Islam. Islam came in order to give us 3 important things for the believer: a good thing for here, a good part, a nice part for this life, and to benefit from the paradise, so a nice part in the hereafter. And the invocations of our beloved Prophet always take their source in the noble Quran, and he was asking constantly, Allah glory to him, to give him rewards in the hereafter, and to ask Allah glory to him to give to help his faithful companions and his nation. So this is what has been recommended by our Prophet, peace be upon him, when the believers are doing the farewell circumambulation, to do this kind of invocations. So we need to probably teach people to do these invocations before coming to pilgrimage, so that they will know once they are in the sacred place how to do them properly. And it's recommended also, and it's better to read them, to do invocations in Arabic. So it's very important actually to, like you said, to teach them before coming, because it's in Arabic that the noble Quran was descended. So it's the particularity of Arabic language is that it's a very rich language, and it's a very eloquent language and rich language that exists on earth. So it's very important to teach the believers this language. And there are some terms, some words that can't be translated accurately and properly, because this language is very deep and very eloquent. So this is the power and the glory of Allah. Peace be, the glory of Allah, His words in the Quran. We don't realize how much they are deep and important, and it's like a treasure that we have as a human beings, as Muslims, as believers. And we often forget that we have a treasure between our hands. So and we have been offered something that has no similarity anywhere else. So yes, our Prophet, peace be upon him, said and recommended the believers that if they commanded the believers to recite the Quran if they wanted, Allah glory to him, to remember them and to be with them. Our noble Quran, as we all know, is the first source of the edifice of Islam, upon which all the Islamic system has been built. And it's the words of Allah, glory to him, that he put in the verses and in the chapters. All these are the words of Allah, and it's a miracle. It's the eternal miracle of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, because the prophets who were sent before him brought miracles to their nations, but when they disappeared, their miracles disappeared with them. For instance, the miracles provided to Moses, peace be upon him, is that his hand was shining, his stick has been transformed into a snake, and when he disappeared, his miracles disappeared with him. And other prophets also had miracles with them, but they disappeared with them. I think we have a break and then we will come back. May the peace and blessings of Allah be with you, and welcome back, dear sisters and brothers. So, the objective of our discussion tonight is about the miracle of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, and this miracle has been preserved until the last day. So our brother Yusuf Diallo has talked about the fact that the disappearance of the other prophets' miracles has occurred once they died. So the only one whom the miracle didn't disappear is our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. In the name of God. Yes, actually, when we talk about the pilgrimage, we needed to talk about the message that is carrying the entire content of Islam, the Noble Quran, the divine book that has been revealed to our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. And it's the eternal miracle of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. We said before the break that the prophets throughout the history were given miracles, and they brought these miracles in order to stress on the veracity of their message. And we have examples. Prophet Noah, to him the ark was provided, and then the deluge that has covered the entire planet, and he was saved. It was a miracle. And then we had the miracle of our Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him.
Ensuite, nous avons eu le cas du prophète Ibrahim alayhi salam, qui entre autres miracles
who was given, who was thrown in the middle of fire, and the Noble Quran tells us that Allah has ordered for this fire to be transformed into peace and the peace and cool and fresh water for this for our Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Abraham. So that was a miracle also, and the miracle has disappeared once he died. So many other prophets brought also miracles to their nations to show the veracity of their message, but it all disappeared, like I said. And then some of the miracles also consisted in putting birds on the top of each mountain, and then to ask this birds to come to him. So Prophet Moses also, peace be upon him, who was provided many miracles, which, for instance, the stick that was transformed into snake, and it was and it absorbed all the magical and evil magical acts that were done by people at that time. And then we have the miracle of our Prophet Isa, peace be upon him. And then we need to say, of course, that Islam is a universal religion, and it didn't start only with our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but it goes back to many prophets before him, and Islam means the submission to the one God, and he is the Lord of the words. Allah is the Lord of the words, and all the prophets were recognized, were stating and attesting this ultimate principle. So among the miracles of our Jesus, peace be upon him, is that he was curing certain diseases. He was also curing the blind, and he was resuscitating the death. So every time he was curing people, he was pronouncing Bi'idhnillah, he was saying, if God wills it, if God wills it, with the permission of Allah, glory to him. So when our beloved Prophet Muhammad came, he was told that no other prophet is going to come after him, and no other book, divine book, was going to be provided. We didn't see any books that came after the Noble Quran. Of course, it's an eternal miracle. And as we know, some of the books and messages have been altered and they were changed. But the Quran remained as it was descended, and Allah, glory to him, has protected this noble and holy book. We need to stress on the fact that the noble Quran is the eternal miracle of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. And some of the challenges has been mentioned to Quraysh have been presented, and they were asked to create a language that would be as chaste and as eloquent as the language of the noble Quran. And we know that the Quraysh was a tribe, an Arab tribe that was very that has poets and very eloquent people, but they couldn't bring a language that was similar to the noble Quran, and that's where the miracle of the Quran resides. It has a linguistic miracle also. And every time they were organizing expositions and gathering where the poets were concurring to see who among these poets were speaking the best language, the best Arabic. And this is just to tell you how much they were eloquent. They were very eminent poets, speaking this language so eloquently, who were faced with this challenge. And our beloved Prophet, as every one of us know, that he was illiterate, and he couldn't read or write. He came to this gathering and he never wrote
40 ans,
any poem in his life, so he was
et un
there
jour, il se lève, il commence à lire.
with people, among people,
des
and
versets
he,
du Coran.
so one day
À
he
lire des
started
versets, on lui a dit, qu'est-ce que
reading
c'est? Il a dit,
verses
c'est le
from the
Coran.
Noble Quran.
Les gens ont dit non.
And
comprends
then
pas.
he
Ça,
was
c'est de la
asked, "What
poésie."
is this?"
Non, ce
He
n'est pas de la
said,
poésie, ça ne
"It's
ressemble
the,
pas de-
it's
Ça, c'est de la magie.
divine,
Non, ce n'est pas de la
divine
magie.
words,
C'est
divine
de la
verses."
prose. Non, ce n'est pas de la prose.
It,
Non.
it was not,
ce n'est pas de la
and
poésie,
everyone
ce n'est pas de la
were,
prose.
everyone in this gathering, in this ceremony, were
علمناه الشعر
amazed
وما ينبغي له
because
أن
it was
يتلو
so
إلا بلسان
beautifully,
قرآن مبين.
beautifully said, and the language was really very chaste and very noble. Thank you very much, Dr. Diallo, and for your presence and for your all the information and that you have provided for our pilgrims, for the pilgrims and for the Muslims, generally speaking. So thank you for what you have also said about our noble Quran and how much it's precious for us and important for us to recite the verses of the noble Quran every day. Can we tell us few words before ending this episode?
Effectivement, c'est que
Yes,
la conclusion à tirer,
the
c'est que les
conclusion
musulmans
to
doivent s'agripper au Coran.
to be made
Comme
is
c'est la
that
corde
we
de
need to
Dieu.
attach
C'est le sauvetage,
ourselves
pas
and to
seulement pour
be
les
to
musulmans,
stick
mais
to
pour
the
l'humanité.
noble Quran,
واعتصموا
and it's a
بحبل الله
really
جميعاً ولا تفرقوا.
a noble message for all Muslims. Keep your faith in Allah, trust in God, glory to Him, be patient, and you need to remind yourself that you have a creator, that you belong to this creator, and that one day you will meet him. So do your best to enhance your faith, and we should not forget that we need to fill our sources constantly and to seek constantly the truth by reciting the verses of the Quran. So if you want to reach this path of getting closer to Allah, then do it with the Quran. So peace be upon you all, and thank you for your attention.